Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video review. This time we have the DC Comics Multiverse King Shark Collect & Connect figure. So this figure is in the wave that consists of three CW TV show characters as well as three Batman comic characters. You're going to need to buy all 6 figures to complete King Shark, and there is a 7th Toys R Us exclusive Batman comic figure that is needed if you like the variant Build-A-Figure piece to kind of turn him more into his comic version of King Shark rather than the live-action version. So this is very interesting. King Shark is a character that I do like a lot, just in general. I mean, in the comics, he's always been a neat character to me. I was actually very disappointed that he was not in the Suicide Squad movie as David Ayer originally planned to put him in. I do hope that we eventually get a live-action DCEU version of this character eventually. However, I've been very happy to see him on the Flash television show. It's a very fun show. I do watch it. I usually watch it all at once, so when it comes out on Netflix, but I do very much enjoy whenever King Shark pops up. So when they were going to do a Build-A-Figure, when they showed it at New York Comic Con or New York Toy Fair, I was very surprised and extremely happy. And although I really didn't have much interest in this wave, I bought it specifically for King Shark himself. So let's get on to the actual figure here. So this is quite a large figure. I will say it's one of my larger Build-A-Figures, even taking Marvel into that discussion as well. He's still one of the biggest ones, which is very cool. However, he's not that heavy. I will say that even though he's probably a little bit bigger than a lot of the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures, he's not as heavy as them because they use a heavier plastic, and there's probably just less parts that are hollow. This guy does kind of feel hollow. His legs, just getting his legs, so they feel like a nice heft to them, but the figure altogether doesn't feel as heavy as you'd think based on his size. But going over the actual look of the figure here, I have to say the detail is quite nice. I do like the sculpt of the head. And also, I will be comparing it to the comic version because I do have that variant piece. But anyway, I do like the head sculpt a lot. This is obviously his look from the television show because in the comics he has a hammerhead look. But this I do think is very nice. And then the gills on the side there are very cool. The way it's been painted is pretty nice. It's like this. It's like multiple shades of gray and a bit of like a cream white that's just kind of been melded together. It's done well. It looks good. It really does. My only issue is when they don't do that in certain places, but I'll get to that a little later. His mouth does open, and you can see the detail inside, which looks quite nice. I do like that a lot. Maybe I would have liked a little bit of black washing in there, because for the most part it's just the red and then the teeth of the white. There's no washing in the mouth, so a little bit of black would have been very cool and would have been welcome. However, I do still think that just the detail of the mouth adds so much. Looks very cool. The torso does have excellent detail, just like on the top of the head. Got wonderful little marks there, and those are all, painted those are all sculpted marks. Nothing's just been painted, which is nice. Then the arms have it a little bit less, especially at the bicep. You lose some of that detail, which makes the torso look like more detailed than the arms, which obviously doesn't mesh very well. So would have liked them to put in a higher level of detail on the arms so that it really matches the torso. The pants, I'm not a huge fan of the color they went with here. They went with like a dark blue, but then they washed heavily washed a lighter blue into it. I wish that they went a little easier on that lighter blue wash so that it turned out a little darker than it was. And what's extremely annoying is the paint doesn't continue in any of the joint sections. So you have these clear spots, which just looks pretty bad and very annoying. And then the feet maintain great detail. Love the veins in the feet there. And you do have all the little fins at the back of his at his respective limbs. I think that it does look very cool. Before I show you the variant Build-A-Figure piece, let's do the articulation. No head articulation. I don't really mind that though. Obviously it's a very strangely shaped head, so I don't see how they could have added articulation and had it looked clean like this, so I don't mind that. You do have the jaw that opens, and it opens very wide, which is nice. Ball hinge shoulders, bicep swivel, single hinge elbows, which hinge very lightly, unfortunately. You can go straight and then you can hinge that much. So wish that there was a better range hinge on the elbow. However, it's not a huge issue. I thought that that was going to like really annoy me, but he's so like big that you don't need him to like hold weapons or anything. So just you don't need him to have as much of a hinge as some other characters. So it's not a big deal. You have a swivel at the wrist, swivel at the waist. You have an ab crunch, which really doesn't go forward. It just kind of straightens out, and then it does go back though a nice amount, which is nice. He has the same kind of swivel hinge legs. They can hinge out very far, and then they can go forward a pretty decent amount. Single hinge elbows, which go a full 90 degrees with a thigh swivel. Then you have just a hinge knee or hinge ankle. Wish that Mattel would get some ankle pivots. Those are so nice, and they really just would make the figure so much better. But it is a shame that they don't include that. And then with the hands, you do have one side that's a fist and one side that's open. I do like that because you want an open hand, especially if you have a Flash figure, for him to like hold the Flash figure. But then it's nice to have a fist to give him like punching poses and things like that. The variant Build-A-Figure piece comes with the Toys R Us exclusive Robin. Here it is. This is his more classic comic style head sculpt. So let's get this on the figure. Alright, so here he is with that variant Build-A-Figure piece on. As you can see, it looks very cool. I've always loved hammerhead sharks. I don't know why, but I've always been very interested in them. So I do like the fact that he does come with the hammerhead variant piece, and it's very cool that you can kind of give him a comic style look. However, it doesn't fit well. I don't know what it is. Typically when I see something that just doesn't look right, I can kind of determine what the reason is that it doesn't look right. Except with this, I don't know what the issue is with it, but it just doesn't look very good on this figure. Maybe it's too big. It might just be that the head looks a little too big like this. I'm not sure, but it just looks off. I mean, from the front, it looks awful. Like, I don't know why, but it just doesn't look good at all. From the sides, it does look better, but it still does look off. I think that maybe the head's too big. That might be it. So maybe if they made the head slightly smaller, just slightly, I think that would have improved it quite a bit. One thing that's disappointing with this head sculpt is that you do have a cut here, which is very annoying, and it goes throughout the entire top of the head. And you might be thinking, well, maybe that's because it's just the front of the head that they changed from the regular one, but that's not the case. As you can see, there's no cut here, so it is completely new, and therefore it's definitely a big shame that there is that cut there, because it's very noticeable. It's not hidden well. And then again, you have the same like inner mouth. I think it's the same exact thing, but yeah, so it does look very nice, and you can obviously open it completely. So I do like the fact that you do have the comic version, because I like King Shark in the comics. I think that he's got a very neat personality, and he's just kind of stupid but also kind of funny. So I do like him in the comics, and it will be nice if you have like a comic collection of Suicide Squad figures. This would be a very cool addition to that, because there's really not many King Shark Build-A-Figure, or there's not many King Shark figures in general, even though he's a very cool character. So this would work very nicely with that, I would definitely say. So overall, this is a pretty nice Collect and Connect figure. I do like it quite a bit. I like the fact that he's very bulky, and from a character standpoint, I love it. This is a character that I never thought would get a Build-A-Figure. I mean, he shows up every now and then on the Flash television show, so I never expected to get a Build-A-Figure of him. So getting the Build-A-Figure is extremely exciting, and I am very happy that we do have it. Although it's not incredible. Like I feel like if you don't like the King Shark character, getting this Build-A-Figure, you're really not going to enjoy it. I mean, the mass of it is going to be your favorite part, because the figure itself is kind of paint by numbers as far as, it has the standard Mattel articulation, which isn't great. It feels a little cheap in some of the way that the joints are cut. There's like flakes of plastic that kind of hang over the joints, which is very annoying. And there's just little stuff like that. It's a Mattel figure. You can totally tell it's Mattel. Now, their Collect and Connect figures are definitely better than their actual Wave figures. This is by far the best figure of the Wave, and I do like that formula. I wish that Marvel Legends would take that on, as far as I want the Build-A-Figure to feel like it's much better than any figure in the Wave, which as of late, especially with that Guardians of the Galaxy Wave, has not been the case. So overall, I do like that fact. It feels like I got a prize for buying the whole Wave, and that's what I want. I think that Collect and Connect figures are the best part of collecting 6-inch scaled figures from comics and things like that. It's my favorite part. So I do love the fact that this is like the best figure of the Wave by far. That is very cool. So I'm very happy I have it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it if you're just, a casual fan of the television shows. If you don't like personally like King Shark like a lot, then I wouldn't recommend this. However, if you are a King Shark fan, then I do recommend it. I think it's totally worth it. As you can see, he's much bigger than any figure in this wave, and he's very large in general. I think that this is close to being in scale. There's been some times on the show where he does look bigger than this. Like the first time we ever see King Shark, and he's holding Barry, I do think that he is actually bigger than this. However, I do think that this is a nice scale. If it is not quite accurate, it's just ever so slightly not accurate. So so I don't mind that. So I think that it is a pretty nice scale. So there you go. That's my video review of this DC Comics Multiverse from the Flash television show King Shark Build-A-Figure, and as well as his comic variant Build-A-Figure head. Let me know what you guys think of this figure, and thanks so much for watching.